Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the players, coaches, and umpires for today's game. Mesdames et messieurs, puis accueillez les joueurs, entraîneurs et arbitres pour le match d'aujourd'hui. Representing the visiting team of Singapore, the starters in their batting order. Représentant l'équipe visiteur de Singapour, les joueurs partant dans leur ordre de faveur. Number 2, numéro 2, catcher, receveur, Cam Joshua. Number 4, numéro 4, center field, centre, Cam Ivan. Number 17, numéro 17, shortstop, arrêt court, Cam Gerald. Number 39, numéro 39, left field, Sean Gauche, Yves Diaz. Number 3, numéro 3, first base, premier but, Fu Seikian. Number 25, numéro 25, second base, deuxième but, Lim Benjamin. Number 31, numéro 31, third base, troisième but, Cole Wayne. Number 79, numéro 79, designated player, joueur désigné, Tien Chan. Number 11, numéro 11, right field, Sean Bois, Lee Michael. Number 54, numéro 54, pitcher, lanceur, Lee Edward. For Team Singapore, substitutes for the game are les joueurs substituts. Number 69, numéro 69, Ken Jaron. Number 47, numéro 47, Joe Allen. Number 21, numéro 21, Chu Marcus. Number 6, numéro 6, Ken Andrew. Number 9, numéro 9, Lim Malcolm. Number 7, numéro 7, Ackland Mills. Number 60, numéro 16, Tay Hugo. Head coach, entraîneur-chef, Co-RJ, and the rest of the team staff et le reste du personnel de l'équipe. Representing the home team of Canada, the starters in their batting order. Number 20, numéro 20, right field, Chambois, Tyler Pauley. Number 11, shortstop, arrêt court, Nick Penner. Number 79, numéro 69, designated player, joueur désigné, Taylor Shibata. Number 10, numéro 10, second base, deuxième but, Josh Elliott. Number 15, numéro 15, catcher, receveur, François-Charles René. Number 9, numéro 9, third base, troisième but, Justin Gainey. Number 25, numéro 25, center field, champ centre, Matt Pilon. Number 8, numéro 8, first base, premier but, Johnny Baker. Number 16, numéro 16, left field, Sean Gauche, Zach McKay. Number 12, numéro 12, pitcher, lanceur, Eric Healy. For Team Canada, substitutes for the game are les joueurs substituts sont Number 7, numéro 7, Justin Boyer. Number 77, numéro 77, Marc-André Villeneuve. Number 30, numéro 30, Tyson Zer. Number 72, numéro 72, Kylo Randerson. Number 55, numéro 55, Matt Wardrop. Number 24, numéro 24, Curtis Takeaway. Number 5, numéro 5, Samuel Bédard Desmarais. Head coach, entraîneur-chef, Jim Jones, and the rest of the team staff et le reste du personnel de l'équipe. The umpires for today's game. Les arbitres du match d'aujourd'hui. Home plate umpire from the United States. Arbitre au marque des États-Unis, David Hardage. First base umpire from Australia. Arbitre au premier but de l'Australie, Jason Carter. Second base umpire from the Czech Republic. Arbitre au deuxième but de République tchèque, Vladimir Lis. Third base umpire from the Netherlands. Arbitre au troisième but des Pays-Bas, Bob Kishkin. In honor of good sportsmanship, the players will now shake hands and exchange gifts. Dans l'honneur de l'esprit sportif, les joueurs se donneront maintenant la main et échangeront des cadeaux.
Live from the Pepsi Center in Whitehorse, Yukon, you're listening and watching the 10th ISF Junior Men's World Championships. Kyle Smith and Joe Todd here on Sports Canada TV from Ballpark Radio. Glad to have you along here on an early evening contest featuring Team Canada, who will be the home team, taking on Team Singapore. Singapore stands with the 0-8 record, taking on Canada, who's at a 3-5 record. Set the lineups for the visitors. Singapore. Joshua Tom will lead things off. Ivan Tan bats second. Jarrell Tan bats in 3 holes. Yan Yi will bat fourth. Se Kien will bat fifth. Benjamin Lim bats in the 6th spot. Wayne To bats 7th. Tian Chun will bat 8th. And Michael Lee bats 9th and round out the order. Edward Lee gets the start today for Singapore, but does not bat. And defensively for Canada, it's Zach Mackay, Matt Pilon, and Tyler Paulai left to right across the outfield. Justin Gainey plays at third base. Nick Penner at short. Josh Elliott over at Johnny Baker at first base, and Francois Charles Rene over behind the plate. Eric Healy gets his first start of this ISF World Tournament. As you look inside Team Canada's bench on the third base wing of diamond number 1. So Joe, for Team Canada, trying to finish the week off with a win. For Singapore, try and get your first win.
Yes, and this game is just a morale booster for tomorrow's game. Both these teams will rematch in the 1:30 game scheduled for tomorrow. 7th spot locked up by Team Canada, and Singapore with that 8 losses right now will retain in 10th. So this game will just be a morale booster, and for one team to walk away with a little bit of confidence for tomorrow's game.
So we're just about set, ready to go. New boss in the house, Kat Britton over to my left, as she's the new director in charge. Best behavior, Joe Todd. Yeah. Best behavior.
Yes. She got that shocker in the chair.
We got away with a little bit more with Harmon in the booth, but tight ship. We're ready to go here. Opener for strike 1. Joe, the umpires today for the 5 o'clock contest.
David Hardage from the United States doing the plate. First base, Jason Carter from Australia. Second base, Vladimir List from the Czech Republic. Third base, Bob Geiskens from the Netherlands. On the 22nd clock today, Fotoichi Ueda from Japan.
So a ground out to start the ball game. 4-3 as Elliott lifts that one on to first. So good quick start, clean start here for Team Canada. Cool day in the ball yard here in Whitehorse. Overcast, had a good dousing of rain overnight here at the park and down at the hotel where we are. Woke up and there was a pile of clouds and rain hanging around at the hotel.
Some puddles existing, but the diamond is in excellent shape. Grounds crew was out working around 6 o'clock, they said.
So Ivan Tan will come to the plate, and that goes foul off the bottom of the bat. So quick 0-2 count. As we said, Eric Healy gets his first start of the tournament. Seen Eric come on in relief a couple of times here this week. Was plagued by a bit of an injury through the first part of the week up until halfway point. And that's the part where we saw him. And down on strikes goes Ivan Tan, swinging. 1 down in the inning. 2 down in the inning. 1 strikeout. At last check, Joe, it was 4-0, now 7-0 in the third.
New Zealand walking away with that game against Mexico over there.
So things starting to become a little bit more clear for bracket play here in Whitehorse, as that one comes to the inside for a strike. So with that loss, Mexico falls to 4-5. Canada can get into a 4-5 tie, but by virtue of the loss head-to-head, Mexico will lock up the 6th spot. So you can almost write that one in ink, Joe,
Almost.
as that one will get fouled off. Francois Charles Rene back behind the plate tonight after his first appearance there. That was 2 nights ago against Denmark. Up and in for a ball. Two big games left to go here tonight in terms of schedule. Japan and Czech Republic, and that on diamond number 2. That plays havoc with things, but for the most part, Japan got things sewn up as that one on in time at first. And of course, our game here, Joe, it's the battle for 4th and 5th.
I'm looking forward to it already.
Team USA takes on Australia to wind up our round robin portion. We'll take a break, come back with the bottom half of the inning on Sports Canada TV.
Et voilà le troisième retrait qui met fin au début de la première manche. Il n'y avait aucun point sur aucune pousseur, aucune erreur et aucune coureur laissée sur les buts. Avec le pointage, aucun pointage pour le Singapour et Canada au bâton. This event would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors, including our premier sponsor, Pepsi. Pepsi, the Yukon's choice. Cet événement ne serait pas possible sans le soutien généreux de nos commanditaires, incluant notre commanditaire principal, Pepsi. Pepsi, le choix du Yukon.
Back in an overcast, but yet still a bit of a sunny day here in Whitehorse. You look off from home plate camera that you saw there, and you can see the encroaching rain making its way towards the ballpark. More than likely, though, the way it looks as it's tracking, probably going to head up north to the mountains.
That's what we're hoping for. It's been up there all throughout the week.
Although the rain yesterday that we had, actually, the wind was blowing about the same direction back into the booth. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Maybe we'll get our local meteorologist down in front of us to give us the weather forecast. Get that update for you in between innings. Offensively for Canada, it'll be Tyler Paulai who leads things off. Nick Penner, Taylor Shubata, 1, 2, 3 in the order. Josh Elliott bats 4th. Francois Charles Rene in the 5-hole. Justin Gainey will bat 6th. Matt Pilon bats 7th. 8 hitters Johnny Baker and Zach Mackay bats 9th. Right away inside. Paulai wears one on that elbow. So hit by a pitch. Gets there the easy way.
Hopefully he'll be all right. He's been a big contributor with the bat all week for Canada. The real team leader here.
Still leads the team, but his bat's cooled off a little bit. 12 for 26, 462 on the week. Canada trying to halt this 5-game losing streak. Ever since that USA game, Canada has been in a tailspin.
Well,
bouncing things around.
They just haven't played a complete game, Kyle. One game they would get good pitching, then they didn't hit, then they made a few key errors. You got to put those 3 components together and walk away with a victory.
Swing and a miss. First strike 2, strike 1, 2-1. Jim Jones, as you look on, runs through the signs at third base. Popped the shot on the left side, foul. Singapore. Edward Lee, rise ball. Got a piece of it, but
Now batting,
nice
now
squeeze
battant,
by
numéro
Joshua
19,
Tom behind the plate.
79. Designated player, joueur désigné, Taylor Shibata.
Defensively, Jian Yi, Ivan Tan, Michael Lee around the outfield, left to right. Wayne To plays at third. Gerald Tan at short. Benjamin Lim plays over at second base. Seikien at first, and Joshua Tom behind the plate. Lee offers for strike one as Taylor Shibata steps into the plate.
Surprised they're not playing a little small ball here. I would think it would be the style of game to go at least till you get 1 or 2 runs.
Got to start somewhere for Team Canada. Takes for strike two. No sign of the bunt, so looks as though they're going to swing away, maybe try and wake those bats up for the consolation round. Playoffs get underway tomorrow here in Whitehorse. Rise ball, swing and a miss. Down goes Shibata. 2 down in the inning, second straight strikeout for Edward Lee.
Lee looks to be very effective today. The rise ball jumping out of the strike zone. Team Canada has to be a little more patient than that. Make sure those balls are in that strike zone and then pound it.
Earlier start time here on Diamond 1 tomorrow, more than what we're used to. We'll have to be here bright and early tomorrow, Joe. 1:30 start time for us here on Diamond 1. Diamond 2 gets underway at 2:30. Back here on Diamond 1 at 4. Diamond 2 at 5. Diamond 1 at 6. And Diamond 2 rounds out the day at 7:30. Down and away, misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 gone in the inning. Lee. Little roller. Lim. 4-3. Down goes Canada after the hit batsman. So a good turnaround for Edward Lee in Singapore. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. We'll head to the top half of the second on Sports Canada TV.
No errors and 1 runner on third base. At the end of the inning, there is no score. Et voilà le troisième retrait qui termine le premier manche. Il n'y avait aucun point sur aucune pousseur, aucune erreur et 1 coureur laissé sur le but. À la fin de la manche, le pointage, il n'y a aucun pointage. The 2014 ISF Junior Men's World Championships is funded in
Back to Diamond number 1 action here. Canada playing Singapore on a early Friday afternoon, 5:07 here in Whitehorse. That's right, Joe, 5:07. That's kind of like my...
Is that Yukon time?
Yeah, that's kind of like my 5:30 o'clock yesterday.
left field, Sean Gauche.
You need more sleep, boy.
Yeah. So starting off things here in the second inning. It's Jian Yi who will lead things off. Right in for strike 1. Eric Healy has looked pretty good here the times we've seen him. Young man from the East Coast. Penner across the diamond for out number 1.
Now batting, maintenant au bâton, number
Healy, I believe, is from Newfoundland.
You would be correct, sir. Jason Hill was inquiring as to how Mr. Healy was making out. Spoke very highly of young Eric. And foul that one off. So Sekien now at the plate, first baseman. In this week that is the ISF Junior Men's World Championships. Sekien struggles with just one hit on 15 at bats. Foul that one off.
Heads up.
One ball, two. As Healy works to Sekien, and again he lifts that one up and out of play. And a swing and a miss. Down goes Sekien on strike. Second strikeout for Eric Healy. 2 down here in the inning, Joe.
He's doing a good job keeping the bases clean. That's all Canada's looking for right now. And then get going with the offense. Singapore has played a lot better since they started last Friday. The scores have been getting a lot closer.
Benjamin Lim lifts that one on to first. 4-3 the short way. And another 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Head to the bottom of the second on Sports Canada TV.
Please join us in thanking our volunteer sponsors, Pepsi and Air North, Econs Airlines, and a huge thank you to all of our volunteers who help make this event happen. Veuillez nous joindre à remercier nos commanditaires bénévoles, Pepsi et Air North, le chien d'Ariane du Yukon. Un énorme merci à tous nos bénévoles qui aident à réaliser cet événement.
Back with you here on Sports Canada TV. Kyle Smith, Joe Todd from Ballpark Radio, joined by the outstanding crew of Sports Canada TV. Carmen Ma is taking her warm and cozy position beside Joe Todd on the graphics board. New sheriff in town down on our left. Kat Britton as the director. Victor Wong over at third. Forrest Mann out in center field. And Harmon Aljula over behind home plate, working for you at home, bringing you all these excellent angles that you are enjoying this week. Executive producer, of course, Troy Brown, running around the ball yard. That one gets lifted up, foul on the right side. Down and away. 1-1.
First time this week that Canada has played other than that 7:30 time slot, but very good crowd here on the Canadian side anyway. Second time?
Had that double day.
Oh, that's right, too. They had a 12 or
middle of the
game.
afternoon, 2 o'clock.
Yep.
That one misses to the outside. Francois Charles Rene gets behind the plate today. His second tour of duty behind the plate. And up and in. Goes over top of the helmet of Rene. Three balls, one strike. And a hard shot. Punches the gap. Out to the fence it rolls. Rene up into second, moving on to third. He'll get there feet first. Leadoff triple for Team Canada. Gives this crowd a little bit to cheer about after a slow couple of days for the red and white.
Francois Charles Rene, very good runner. Touch that inside portion of the bag on all the bases to eliminate those corners, make them a little bit sharper.
So RBI opportunity for Justin Gainey. He's got a big swing and a miss for strike one. Pitch misses for ball one.
Well, it's important that Canada takes advantage of this situation now with this leadoff triple. Can't strand runners.
Up and in again. Knocks down Justin Gainey. Edward Lee trying to work out of a jam, and that one misses for a ball. Three balls, one strike. Now I'm going to get lifted up on the left side. Over comes Zianyi, makes the catch. And almost gets the runner, Charles Rene.
Now batting maintenant battant, number 25, numéro 25, center field, chance entre, Matt Pilon.
So if I'm not mistaken, Jian Yi wearing a face mask out in center field, the pitcher-style face mask that protects a lot of pitchers now coming up through the ranks. Something you don't see all the time in the outfield.
Not in defensive usually. He has wore it at the plate a few times this week.
That one attached to his mask, so
yeah.
There it is right there.
He wears the baseball cap backwards.
Something you don't see all the time with the outfielders. Great look by Victor Wong. Normally, you see it on the infield a lot now, even pitchers and corner infielders. But this time out in left field as that pitch misses for ball one. One pitch. Up and in. Working that inside edge. You can see Joshua Tom telling Edward Lee to bring that down. And to settle down as Matt Pilon stands at the plate.
Tom has had a busy week. I believe he's caught all 8 games so far. I think they only brought one catcher with them.
It would sure seem like it as he's getting the yeoman's work behind the plate, and he has been beaten up back there. He's probably going to go home with a few dozen bruises.
Lance and I talked yesterday of all the work he's had, and I bet you he sleeps well at night time.
Count up at 2-2. Lee trying to work out and leave that runner at third in Charles Rene after the triple. Called strike 3, and Matt Pilon can't get the bat off the shoulder. Down he is looking. 2 down in the inning.
Canada's bats have to be very aggressive with 2 strikes on them. Have to be looking, drive in that extra run. That man's in scoring position. You're only going to have so many opportunities in a game.
So Johnny Baker now comes to the plate. Reaches for that one on the bottom side at a plate. Lee. That pitch goes up and out. And again, that one gets lifted up out of play.
Please bring the ball back to the box behind home plate.
So the count now, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Baker trying to break out of a bit of a mini slump here mid through the week, and time called. Just 3 seconds in. One, two. Top side misses for ball 2.
Two and two count to the batter now. Has to make sure he protects anything close to that strike zone. You want to get a bat on that ball.
2's up and fouls off. Just nicely started here, Joe, in the second inning, bottom half. Haven't missed anything if you're just getting in. Canada has set them down in order. For Canada in the first, Tyler Pauli was hit by a batter, then up and down they went. Triple by Charles Rene here in the second, and the next 2 have gone down. Ball 3, 3 and 2. Three-two pitch, swung on, charged out and caught by Ivan Tan. Will end the inning. And again, Joe, leadoff man gets stranded for Canada. Can't punch through when the time is right.
Especially with that leadoff triple. Hate to strand those runners.
We'll be back with the top half of the third. Singapore coming to the plate in a 0-0 ball game.
Driving Force is the official vehicle provider for the 2014 Junior Men's World Class Pitch Championship. They offer daily, weekly, and monthly rental rates. All your rental sales and leasing needs, visit drivingforce.ca. Driving Force est le fournisseur de voitures officielles pour les championnats juniors de val rapide masculin de 2014. Ils offrent des tours de location quotidienne, hebdomadaire et mensuelle. Pour tous vos besoins de location et de vente, visitez drivingforce.ca. For Singapore, Samuel Bacon for Singapore. Number 31, numéro 31, third base, troisième but, Toe Wayne.
Back to a cloudy and overcast day here in Whitehorse. Wayne Toe will lead things off here for Team Singapore. And that one lifted, foul. Just over top of the bleacher creatures in right. Ooh, look at that new hat, Joe Todd.
Oh. Is that the one you want?
That might be the one I got to go home with.
Yeah. You go out, I'll cover the game. Go ahead. Quick run over.
May have to. Looks like the new shipments come into town. If you keep passing that up, it may not come back down.
Come on up here.
As that one gets fouled off.
You guys can sign it if you want.
1-2. As the count goes. One, two, up and in for ball two. 2-2. Throwing things at me.
Yeah. As long as they're not tomatoes, we're all right.
A little bit bigger. Yeah, meet the large XL.
There's going to be a rush to the concession stand, maybe led by Joe Todd.
Oh, am I going?
Somebody's going to. Wayne Toe will reach base. So leadoff man for Singapore gets on. We play in the third inning here. 0-0. Canada has left the leadoff man on base both times. And a swing and a miss for strike one.
As we mentioned last inning, Singapore started out really rough, and they've improved every game since they've progressed through this tournament.
Bunt rolls foul.
The gentleman that pitched in the game yesterday, Marcus Chu, was only 15 years old. He's really just a good part of that program for probably two more years of.
Yeah, it depends when his birthday is. He could see two more cycles here in the new year. New two-year cycle programs. And the bouncer. Handcuffs on Elliott. Out into right field and put runners on the corner. Singapore threatening to do some damage here early in the third inning.
Hit the ball fairly hard, but Josh Elliott should have had a better glove on that. Didn't keep his body in front of the ball. You got to square up in front of that ball. Elliott played it to his side.
Playing that on the run, coming into the hole as Charles Rene runs through the signs. Should the runner Tian Chun take off. Going to go foul at the plate.
David Hardage from the United States behind home plate today.
Right on that call, Joe, as he called her down instantaneously. Creeping in on the corner, swinging away, throw to second. No tag by Nick Penner.
Don't like that play.
Well, he was right there. Just reach out and grab him. You see the runner not moving.
Right.
Got to get an out on that.
You got to, if you're going to make that attempt to that throw, you got to get it out. You walk by the runner, really, in anticipation.
Yeah, I think they had thought that the runner would be off and running from third, but when he doesn't move and you go right by him, he even stopped. You reach out and you tag him. As that one goes, no balls, 2 strikes down goes Michael Lee for the first out.
Now batting number 2, numero 2, catcher.
Could be 2.
Should be 2.
Just didn't really think that one through.
When you start giving your opposing team extra outs, that's what comes back to haunt you.
So Joshua Tom now to the top of the order for Singapore as they've got something going here. Tom, the leadoff hitter and top of the heap with a 286 average. Doesn't have an RBI to his credit, but 6 hits in 21 at-bats. Malcolm Lim, the man with the most RBIs. Tom going to lift that up. Back strides taller. Paula, he's got a long throw to the plate. That one going to be cut off by Baker. Singapore scores the first run of the ball game, takes a 1-0 lead.
A long drive, the opposite field for Joshua Tom. Pulling Tyler Paulai back away from his regular position. Unable to throw out Wayne Toe for the first run of the game.
Canada should be out of the inning. Just the misplay by Nick Penner. Up the middle on the throw through and no tag. And that one into the dirt. So Ivan Tan takes for ball one. And that one skips off a knee to the left side.
Canada has to play good defense here. You do not want that second run to cross the plate.
Two balls. In at the knees for strike one. Canada trying to work out of this jam they've got brewing. And that one through the legs of Rene. Thought about coming home, did Tian Chun. But he turns around and retreats back to third.
Rene got a nice clean bounce off that wooden barrier at the bottom of the fence.
Healy comes inside and misses for ball four. So a free pass for Ivan Tan. Canada getting into the danger part now. Gerald Tan, the three hitter, will come to the plate. And again, Charles Rene will run through the signs. Be surprised, Joe, though, if Ivan Tan takes off running. Don't want to run yourself out of a good potential inning. Make the final, New Zealand 7 and Mexico no score. And that one gets lifted up and out of play right beside the young lad in the bleachers. So the count runs now 1-1. So Mexico will fall to 4-5. And we'll lock up that sixth position. And we'll get a bye in the consolation round. Count runs to 1-2 on Gerald Tan. Off and running to the backstop. Runner coming on. Safe at home. And into third moves Ivan Tan. And boy, oh boy, 2-0 now in favor of Team Singapore. Got to get those outs when they're there, Joe.
Again, we talked about only so many opportunities you get. Singapore's taking good choice of their opportunities. Eric Healy with a wild pitch there, allowing Chun Tien to score the second run for Singapore. Runner at third base now.
Still not done though, Joe, as the ball skipped away and a heads-up play by Ivan Tan to scamper into third.
Good base running.
2-2 pitch, misses for ball 3.
Just wonder, don't have access to the bullpen down the Canadian side. You wonder if another person's warming up.
And ball 4. So Canada not doing themselves any favors here.
Now batting, maintenant battant, number 39, numéro 39. Left field, champ gauche, Yi Yan.
Second consecutive walk for Healy and Team Canada. Runners on the corners now with 2 down. We're in the top of the third inning. Singapore leading by a score of 2-0.
And Joe, we can confirm it is Eric Healy right now. No one warming for Team Canada. Off and running goes Gerald Tan, cut off by Healy. And up into second goes Tan. So 2 runners now in scoring position. And Zian Yi at the plate. Swing and a miss on a drop ball for a strike.
Zian Lee, again, we talked about his baseball cap flipped around for his plate appearance.
That one misses for ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike. And Yi fouls that one off. 2-2.
My hairstylist has arrived.
Oh, is Lance here?
Yeah.
2 runs in, threatening to drive 2 more in as Yi looking to drive 1. Lifts that one out on the right side. Paulai, though, over, makes the grab to end the inning. But Singapore, they strike for 2 and take a 2-0 lead. We'll head to the bottom of the third on Sports Canada TV.
That's the third out, which ends the top of the third inning. There were 2 runs on no hits, 2 errors, and 2 runners left on base. The score is Singapore 2, Canada no scores. Et voilà le troisième retrait qui met fin au début de la troisième manche. Il y avait 2 points sur aucun pousseur, 2 erreurs et 2 coureurs laissés sur le but. Avec le pointage 2 pour le Singapour et aucun pointage pour le Canada. Please join us in thanking our community sponsors, Northwest Tel, Micmac Toyota, North 60 Petro.
10, 40, 54 out, 47 in. Team Singapore, get 2.
Total Track Utah in the city of Whitehorse. Vous voulez nous rejoindre à remercier les commanditaires communautaires Northwest Tel, Micmac Toyota, North 60 Petro, Subway, Total Track Utah et la ville de Whitehorse. pitching. Maintenant, le lanceur pour Singapour. Number 47, numéro 47, Bo Allen. Leading off for Canada.
Back with you here as Canada trails Singapore by a score of 2-0. It'll be Zach Mackay in the 9 spot who leads things off here for Team Canada.
It's sun time, Kyle.
There's a strike called at the knees. It's about 5:40 here. So that's right on cue. Yesterday's melting sun was at about this same very time. And it's going to bring some heat. You may have to take off that sweatshirt you're wearing. Joe layered up before the game as a cool breeze had come on in. There's a line shot over the head, up against the wall, stays in play. Mackay into second, getting a wave around. Now the e-brake goes on. And back into second he goes. A late stop sign, or he picked up Coach Jim Jones late. He was halfway to third, and there's a few skid marks in the dirt as he brought himself to a halt.
That's the little things, the little techniques there, but Benjamin Lin, the second baseman for Singapore, has to retain on that bag. So he's got an avenue for that ball to go to. Lin was off the bag.
New pitcher for Singapore, Alan Lowe, on, and he's greeted promptly with that hard hit double. Third inning in a row where Team Canada gets the leadoff man to the bases.
Lowe pitched earlier in the tournament against Argentina and Mexico.
There's a line shot over the head, up against the wall, stays in play. Mackay and fouled off.
Getting a wave around. Now the
Canada got the leadoff man Tyler Pauli at the plate. He was hit by a pitch in the first. Next 3 go down in order. Francois Charles Rene started the second off, Joe, with a triple. Next 3 go down in order. Zach Mackay, the leadoff man, a double. And we'll see what this inning brings for Canada.
Got to find a reply to those 2 runs put on the board by Singapore.
So the count now at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Up and in for a ball, 2-2. Pauli's gone quiet here as the week has worn on. Was up after the first 3 games, hitting about 600 and a half. Now falling to a 4.5, 460 average.
Still not bad.
No, pretty good week. 12 for 26, 8 runs scored. 2 doubles, 2 triples, 2 RBIs, a base on balls. Just 1 strikeout in all of that. And 3 stolen bases for young Tyler Pauli from Mitchell, Ontario. 3-2. Gonna lift that out to the right center gap. Does it carry? Does it go? Say bye-bye baseball. A 2-run shot for Tyler Pauli. And as he goes, so Team Canada goes. Brings this crowd to their feet.
Big power hit by Tyler Pauli to drive it to that 1 o'clock spot on your clock in center field, just between center and right field. 2 RBIs there for Tyler Pauli.
So he goes to the power alley, and it's got the legs to carry the distance. 245 to the fence. And now Nick Penner will come to the plate. So the first time Canada able to move something around after the leadoff man gets on. Penner thought about the bunt, then pulled it back as it comes in for ball 1. And into the dirt for ball 2.
Well, hitting is contagious, so hopefully it continues on with Nick Penner.
Canada's gone on some tears here this week. Swing and a miss for a strike one. Struck out back in the first did Nick Penner. And thought about bunting again with the infield back, Wayne Toe and Sekien playing well off the plate. There's a bunt attempt right on through for called strike.
You wonder if there was a problem with Edward Lee. He'd held pretty good shape of the Team Canada bats early in the game, and all of a sudden he gets yanked.
And that one misses.
Now batting, maintenant battant, number
For ball 4.
designated player, joueur désigné, Taylor Shibata.
Called a strike. And skips away. Up to second goes Penner, wide turn. But he's happy with just 60 feet on the wild pitch. Hard shot, line out, falls in, one hop, hard throw to the plate, not in time. Just ahead of the throw is Nick Penner, and Canada turns a quick 2-0 deficit into a 3-2 lead.
Good power hit by Taylor Shibata. Drive in Nick Penner. Kind of wonder how come Shibata's not standing at second base. Throw missing the overthrow at the pitcher plate.
Well, I don't know if they were overthrowing or they were going to the plate. Looked as though they were coming to the plate. So
as soon as that ball crosses the pitcher's plate, that runner should be taken off.
So new pitcher Joe here for Singapore. It'll be 69, Jerron Tan. So Alan Lowe can't make it through a third of the inning. Taylor Shibata, though, still the responsibility of Wayne Lowe.
Canada replied with 3 runs here. Still no one out.
Called for a strike. And a bunt attempt. Can't get it down, can't get it done as it rolls foul. So a good start here for Canada in the third inning, Joe, responding to those 2 runs Singapore put up.
Big double, big home run here, back to back. Followed up by a walk and a single.
And that pitch misses.
It's now important that Josh Elliott make sure that Jerron Tan throws strikes, brings him a strike. Jerron Tan turned on that. Josh Elliott turned on that pitch, but unable to get all of it.
Elliott grounded out back in the first inning as Canada tries to build on this one-run lead. And time called. Looking down the left field line. Bob Geiskens had disappeared. Now he comes back to his position. One, two. Fouls it off, just stays alive. Joe got a piece of it.
Got to keep building on this momentum, have a big inning. Candace, other than that game against the United States, that one time that they broke open here all week.
Three runs already in, trying to build on that with Shibata at first. Time called as we've hit a snail's pace now all of a sudden, trying to get a pitch on after this 1-2 count's been with us for what it feels like 5 minutes. Off speed, 2-2. Swung on. Up on the 4.5 hole. Around into third goes Shibata standing. Skips off the glove and runners on the corner.
The hitting parade continues. Team Canada, Josh Elliott coming across with the fourth hit of the inning.
So Francois Charles Rene now will come to the plate. He had a triple back in the second. Was left there stranded. And called a strike. Charles Rene, runner in scoring position. And into the dirt, that one goes.
Rene with that big bop back in the second inning. Triple Wopo was stranded at third base.
Punch the gap again. That one will roll to the fence. Shibata in. Elliott getting the wave around. Into third goes Charles Rene. Back-to-back triples. Make it 5-2 Canada.
Three is the lucky number for Francois Charles-Rene. His second triple of the day. Driving in 2 more runs for Canada. And still no one out.
Oh, skips on Seikan, but he stayed with it. Good play by the first baseman. 3 unassisted, 1 down. inside for a ball. Right across the letters, inside though for ball 2.
Gerontan struggling trying to find that plate.
And a called strike. 2-1. And misses again for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike to count. Three and 1. And ball 4 is Pilon works himself a walk.
Big inning here for Canada. Now going through the order.
Johnny Baker comes to the plate.
First base, premier but, Johnny Baker.
Gerontan offers first pitch for a ball. Ball 2. Baker lined out hard to the center fielder Ivan Tan back in the first inning. And outside for ball 3. So Singapore can't quite find the strike zone as someone else getting loose over in the yonder field beside us here on Diamond 1. 3-0. Called a strike. There's one at the letters. Goes the side of Singapore. Charles Rene at third. Canada must not want to bring him in. Left him standing there back in the second inning. There's a shot, caught! And a nice play by Benjamin Lim. So twice now, Joe, Johnny Baker has made good contact on a line, but just can't pop that hole.
Well, nothing wrong with Baker there. He's hitting the ball hard. Those balls will fall in eventually.
So, bat around inning, Joe, as Zach Mackay comes to the plate. He started this attack with that double. Came around and scored part of this 5-run outburst. Oh and 1.
It's important you not leave these runners back out there. When you get a team down, take advantage of it.
Up and in. One. And up onto Tan. In time at first. Gerald plays that across. Nice 6-3, Joe ranging across the diamond for the third out of the inning. But Canada, they'll push 5 runs across. They do that on 5 hits. The big one, of course, that home run by Tyler Paulai. And leave 2 on. We'll head to the top half of the 4th on Sports Canada TV.
That's the third out, which ends the third inning. There were 5 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left Singapore 2. Et voilà le troisième refrain qui termine la troisième manche. Il y avait 5 points sur 5 pousseurs, 0 erreur et 2 coureurs laissés sur les buts. À la fin de la manche, le pointage était 5 pour le Canada et 2 pour le Singapore. CKRW The Rush is the official radio station of the 2014 Junior Men's World Softball Championship. Tune in for all the latest championship coverage. 96.1 FM in Whitehorse, 98.7 in the community. CKRW The Rush est la station de radio officielle du championnat du monde de softball junior masculin de 2014. Écoutez pour toute la couverture à jour de championnat à 86.1 à Whitehorse, 98.7 dans les communautés. Leading off for Singapore. Premier au bâton pour Singapore. Number 3, numéro 3. First base, premier but, Wu Sei-kian.
So Sei-kian will lead things off here for Team Singapore. As Eric Healy back on the mound for Team Canada. And a high bouncer. Lee got a hustle, not in time. So infield single for Sei-kian.
Now batting, maintenant au bâton, number 25, numéro 25. Second base, deuxième but, Lim Benjamin.
On attempt, right on through goes Benjamin Lim. He grounded out back in the second inning as they went down in order, but that third inning for Singapore, Joe, proves that they can make some noise here against Canada, so this one far from over.
Well, the 2 walks that Healy had really set up that whole inning, and with the error compounded at second base, but we'll see if Singapore can find a reply to the 5 runs put on the board. We might have a ping pong game here going back and forth.
0-2 into the dirt for ball 1. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Benjamin Lim for out number 1. Strikeout number 4 on my book, Joe.
Yep.
Third base, troisième but, Go Wayne.
Kyle Smith, Joe Todd here with you on Sports Canada TV, joined by the outstanding crew. And a little roller. Up on to first as Gainey retires toe quickly. So 2 down now. Throw down to second. Didn't get him.
Good gun there by Renee.
And that'll miss. And a swing and a miss again for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Chun Tien really lifted his head bad out of that strike zone, so I come back with another drop ball.
Fouls that off, just got a piece of it. One, two.
Heads up.
Fouls it off.
Heads up. Please bring the ball back to the box behind home plate.
Into the dirt. 2 and 2. And foul that off. So staying alive at the plate here with 2 down, Joe, is Tien Chun.
Fighting it off with 2 strikes. Good plate appearance so far.
High bouncer, Penner. Up on to first in time to end the inning. So leave that single stranded. And we head to the bottom half of the 4th. Coming up next on Sports Canada TV.
That's the 3rd out, which ends the top of the 4th inning. There were no runs on no hits, 1 error and 1 runner left on base. With the score, Canada 5 and Singapore 2. Et voilà le 3e retrait qui me fait au début de la 4e manche. Il y avait beaucoup de points sur beaucoup de pousseurs, 1 erreur et 1 coureur laissé ici. Avec le pointage 5 pour Canada et 2 pour Singapour. The ISF would like to recognize Mizuno as the official supplier of softballs and umpire uniforms for the 2014 Junior Men's World Softball Championship. Mizuno is the only softball used in ISF World Championships. L'ISF aimerait reconnaître Mizuno en tant que fournisseur officiel des uniformes d'arbitre et de balles pour les championnats du monde de softball junior masculin 2014. Mizuno est le bal de choix des compétitions mondiales de leading off for Canada, premier au bâton pour le Canada, number 20, numéro 20.
Back here to the top half of the 4th as Team Canada will come to the plate. We'll be joined by a special guest for this half inning. Mr. Bob Stanton will join us to talk to us about the umpire program of the ISF, as Bob, the director of umpires for the ISF and company, of course, Bob from the New Brunswick area, but a worldwide traveler when it comes to watching umpires and evaluating. Busy week for you here this week.
It has been good. You know, the games have been spread out, so you know, we've really had a lot of time to work with our umpires. So this has been one of the more liberally scheduled tournaments for us. So we're really happy with the setup here this week.
14 umpires in total. How many games a day will they work? About 2?
2, some days 1.5. On average 1.5 or 2 games a day. Yeah, that's kind of works out.
And that includes the clock.
Yes. Yes.
So that new 20-second clock that we see here was here in 2012. Being told it'll be in Saskatoon at the senior men's and most ISF events from here on out. One of the best things that has come into the game of fastball to speed the pitchers up and get that pitch back through on 20 seconds.
You know, and it's really not a change. I mean, the rule in the book right now says pitchers have 20 seconds to release the pitch once they receive the ball, and all the clock is a visual reminder to pitchers. You know, the time is ticking, and get down to business and bring the pitch.
So a pop out from Paulai to start. I know it's a long process for the umpires to get to this point. Every, international governing body, national governing body has a different set of standards, but once you reach the pinnacle of your governing body's stature as an umpire, what's the next step for the men in blue?
Okay, we require them to attend a we call it a certification seminar. And it basically consists of 2 days of classroom work and drills and on-field drills. So we have them for 2 days in the classroom or on the field doing some different drills. They have to write a 100-question rule exam online. They have 2 hours to complete the exam, and they have to get 90% on the exam before they attend the seminar. Then once we get them to the seminar again, the 2 days of the work, and then hopefully at least 4 or 5 games of evaluations, so that we tie it into a tournament and hopefully have each umpire work at least 1 game at each position using the 4-umpire system.
As we see here, that's been here all week, the 4-umpire system, as Jaron Tan and 2 quick outs here. But that one going to get lifted up and out to Ivan Tan. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for Canada as Taylor Shabana goes down on the pop fly. So we'll keep it here in the in-between and carry on our conversation with the Director of Umpires, Bob Stanton. So after approval and after passing certification, they've been certified as ISF approved. Then the real work begins in trying to get to an ISF tournament.
Correct, and what the way our process is that when we have an event coming up, 7 months before the event, we will send out to all the federations a call for nominations. Each federation is entitled to send 4 nominations. Then we go through a selection process. The first group of umpires that we look at are umpires that are nominated from federations that are sending teams. And then we try to pick qualified umpires from that group. If we don't have enough qualified umpires from that group, and it's rare that we do, that we then go to the regional countries that are sending teams, and then we try to pick from the region. And then if we don't have enough, or if we need to bring in some umpires with a little more experience or some balance that we need, then we'll go to the whole world of federations and get their certified umpires and have a look at them.
Pinch hitter coming on to the ball game. It'll be Andrew Tan who will lead things off here for Michael Lee. When these umpires come here, I know they've reached that pinnacle and now they've come to this tournament. What you're being assisted by 2 umpire-in-chiefs, deputy umpire-in-chiefs, assistant umpire-in-chiefs, Julie Johnson and Jeff Whipple this week. What are they looking for, and what are you looking for as you determine, through the week and ultimately the goal, as every other team, is to work the gold medal game?
Sure. The first thing we're looking for is how many umpires really got themselves prepared. It's the off season for some umpires, so we got to make sure that they've done some work, they've found a way to do some games, and got themselves a little bit game ready. A lot game ready is what we're hoping for, but sometimes it's only a little bit game ready. So for the first few days, we're doing evaluations or assessments, and we're really being critical. We want them to change some things. We want to work on some things that we see that we don't like, just to fine-tune their game. I mean, they're not obvious to everybody, but things that are just going to fine-tune the game. And then we look for leadership qualities, game management, skills, good judgment, consistent strike zone, good judgment on the bases, and good movement, that they're getting the right distance, the right angles to see the plays.
How far along in the process? I know we're wrapping up round robin play as this, and 2 more games yet to go. Of course, our game here on Diamond One, Australia, USA. How far in the process are you in placing umpires for that playoff sequence?
Okay. As of yesterday and today, we had kind of narrowed down those that we thought we would like to use on the plate in the playoff round and the consolation round. So we had another look at them over the last 2 days. And tonight we'll start making selections based on who's playing who and who we can fit into what spots. But we'll be down to 7 or 8 umpires for plate assignments. And then we'll, again, look for those umpires that can best work for us on the bases in certain games.
Fly out to the center fielder as Andrew Tan starts it off. I guess, we haven't seen it yet this week, but is there a guiding principle that you try to avoid umpires from the same country working the same games as the teams, or does that eliminate someone? How's that work?
We do have a rule that we will not use an umpire in a game involving their own federation. We just had some really bad experiences in the past where we've done that, and those umpires have made a call that have gone against their federation. perfectly good call, but went against their federation, and they've gone back to their home country and kind of been ostracized,
Okay.
and so we're trying to avoid that type of thing. So,
Yep.
unless absolutely necessary, we will try to keep
Avoid that.
avoid that situation.
So Eric Healy back to work on a 1-1 count. And he comes down and away for ball 2. You're a busy guy. I know you get around and you're busy at home with softball New Brunswick, but you leave here. You're going home for Midget Boys Championships.
The under-16s, yeah, in August.
And that's coming up soon in August. And then right after that, you're hopping on a plane to head to Haarlem, Netherlands for senior women's.
That's right. Our tournament ends on August 10th, and I hop a plane on August 12th to head off to Haarlem.
So how long will you be in Haarlem for?
It'll be 12 days.
Okay.
Yep.
So back at the end of August, as that pitch will miss for ball 4. So a free pass issue to Joshua Tom. Looking ahead, your schedule really got busy really once the 2-year cycle started to take over. You got a lot more travel. I guess you took over at the 08 Beijing Olympics. Was your first ISF as the director of umpires?
As the director was the 208 Olympics, that's correct.
That's a good way to start as a bang.
Unbelievable. It certainly was an eye-opener and a big learning curve, but there was lots of good people around me and had lots of support. So, to their credit, they certainly pushed me in the right direction, and I kind of went, and it worked out well. So, very happy with the support I had. And now you're right, with this year being a rule change year, for the first implementation of the rule changes, plus two world championships, a bunch of umpire seminars. It's been really busy. But if it wasn't, I wouldn't be doing it, I guess. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't be doing it.
08 Olympics, the highlight of your umpiring career, whether it's on the diamond or off the diamond?
Absolutely. Just to be there in that atmosphere and to start to understand the importance of the Olympics, the importance that it is to the athletes and to the officials, and just the care and the work that goes into all the preparation that goes before, during, and after the Olympics. It's just amazing.
So the count stays at 1 ball, 2 strikes with Ivan Tan at the plate, 1 down in the inning, being joined by Bob Stanton, the ISF Director of Umpires. Runs a nice tight ship for the Blue Crew, treats them well and gets them on time. And, there hasn't been many controversies for you guys to deal with here this week. It's been a pretty smooth tournament.
It's not bad. We've had a few calls that we'd like to have back. We've had some situations we would have liked to handle it a little differently, but that's all part of the learning curve and part of the experience that some of these umpires will get. For some of them, this is their first world championship. For others, it's their second or third, and there's other umpires that get a lot more experience at home. So it's great that they get here and they start to learn on the first games on Friday, and they're still learning today. So we're seeing improvement all week long.
We'll let you go on this. What's the best atmosphere you ever been on outside of the Olympics?
Argentina last year, 2 years ago at the junior men's.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. The noise, the fans, it was just unbelievably exciting to be there.
All right, Bob, we'll let you go. Thanks for your time. I know you're a busy guy getting lineups done and keeping everything in order and watching over top here on your Blue Crew. We appreciate it. Best of luck, safe travels, and we'll come across again down the road.
Same to you, and I know we'll meet again. Thanks.
Thanks. Bob Stanton, the ISF Director of Umpires, gracious enough to join us for a half an inning and share the thoughts and how this program works at the ISF level. Definitely different than your home province or territory or national body. It's international federation, the ISF, where you want to end up and strive to be if you're a man in blue. Off and running, bare hand, tipped up and caught. Highlight, real material. Boy, oh boy, the coaches are going to say to Eric Healy, though, don't throw your hand up like that, young man. We'll come back with more on Sports Canada TV.
Get it on the sticks.
That's the third out, which ends the top of the 5th inning. There were no runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. voilà le troisième arrêt qui était fait au début de la 5e manche. Il n'y avait aucun point sur aucun pousseur, aucune erreur et 2 coureurs laissés sur les avec le pointage 5 pour le Canada et 2 pour le Singapour. Super Save is a proud supporter of the 2014 Junior Men's World Softball Championship. Yukon's #1 fence rental and propane supplier, Super Save provides for all your special event needs. Super Save est un fier supporter du championnat du monde de softball junior masculin. Fournisseur numéro 1 de propane, de location de propane Yukon, Super Save fournit pour tous tes besoins d'événements spéciaux.
Team Singapore. 9 out, 4 in.
To lead off the bottom of the
7 in.
5th inning for Team Canada, we're going to go to the second baseman, Josh Elliott. Elliott's 1 for 2 so far.
Playing right field.
Scored back in the 3rd inning. Grounded out back in the 1st inning. Score 5-2. Sorry, this is the 5th inning. I left the booth there with Bob Stanton being interviewed and lost track of an inning. Stanton finally stepping in now. The acknowledgement of the umpire to start the 22nd clock. Jaron Tan pitching now for Singapore. Strike called to Elliott. Jaron Tan being tagged for 1 run of the 5 so far. 2 hits against Tan. The pitch and the release by Gerald Tan. Just missing off that strike, a little bit outside by home plate umpire David Hardage from the United States. Elliott fighting that low drop ball off, fouling it down. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Elliott. Pace of the game has really slowed down now here. Pitch inside to Elliott. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Gapper by Elliott out to left field. Elliott circling the bags. Going to end up at second base with a leadoff double. 4 to the 5 innings so far tonight. Team Canada's led off with a base runner. So we have Elliott at second base now. Francois Charles Rene now at the plate. And he's had a great day. 2 back-to-back triples. One RBI in his totals. Sun is beaming again here in Whitehorse. 6:25 Yukon time. One ball to Rene. Gerald Tan with the release. Down to first base, bobbled by the first baseman, Sekien, but Benjamin Lim able to track it down, but by that time, Francois Charles Rene had ran it out. Mark an E3 in your books if you're scoring at home. And the run hit. Josh Elliott is now at third base. Runners on the corners now. No one out. Justin Gainey at the plate. Bottom of the fifth inning. Gainey with a long drive. Not deep enough, tracked down by Ivan Tan, but the run will score from third base. Josh Elliott will come in on a sacrifice fly to Justin Gainey. Another run put on the board by Team Canada. Francois Charles Rene advances to second base, also on that sacrifice fly. Matt Pilon, the batter for Team Canada.
Good heads-up running by Charles Renejo to move up 60 feet on the fly ball.
That play being assisted by first base coach Doug Chase. Good direction there.
Heads up, heads up.
Matt Pilon, the plate now. Center fielder for Team Canada. 0 for 1 with a walk. Another runner in scoring position. Canada would love to bring in some more runs. Want to pile them on now. Get some momentum going for that consolation round, which starts tomorrow afternoon for them at 1:30. Duran Tan with a release. Pilon fouls it off. One ball, two strikes to Pilon. Again, a long fly ball to center field. Ivan Tan picking the ball up. Good toss over to third base, but not able to catch up with the tag put on by Francois Charles Rene, so he ends up at third base. Back-to-back outs for Ivan Tan. Johnny Baker now the batter for Team Canada.
Johnny Baker.
Baker looking for his first hit of the game, but he's hit the ball hard twice tonight. Line drive to the second baseman and a big power shot out to center field back in the second inning. Looks like we got a change coming here for Team Canada.
Probably just a temporary runner.
Team Canada, temporary runner for the catcher.
So Matt Pilon.
He tags up two bases and gets pulled.
Got to get him ready.
Yeah. Johnny Baker trying to drive in that seventh run for Team Canada. 6-2 here for Team Canada. We're in the fifth inning over Singapore. Game number 43 on your tournament schedule. Baker with a punch down to third base. Wayne Toe picking the ball up, throwing a soft toss over to Sekien for the third out of the inning. The Team Canada comes across with one run on one hit and one error and left one runner on base. We'll be right back. Thank you.
That's the third out, which ends the fifth inning. There was one run and 2 hits, no errors, and one runner left on base. At the end of the inning, the score is 6 for Canada and 2 for Singapore. Et voilà, le troisième minute fin termine le cinquième manche. Il y avait un point sur 2 pousseurs, aucune erreur et un pouvoir laissé. À la fin de la manche, le pointage est 6 pour le Canada et 1 pour le Singapore.
Back here on Sports Canada TV, Kyle Smith, Joe Todd, and the rest of our great crew here from Whitehorse, Yukon.
Leading off for Singapore.
Jian Yi will lead things off for Singapore. Oh for 2 thus far, a ground out and a fly out. And a strike to the leadoff man. Check the swing. Didn't go. And that one called for a strike. That one goes sky high.
Right at us.
Right behind us.
Even better.
Healy, 1-2. Nice block out by Charles Rene. That's starting to come alive, Joe. And a little squibber in front. Healy. And a dead ball.
Ball went off the leg or the foot of the base runner. First base umpire Jason Carter from the Australia team of umpires picked it up. Now we're asking for an appeal.
So the blue crew gathers. Trying to get the answer. So now they'll pull the coaches together and deliver a message of some sort. Road. And they're going to call the out.
So the ball did not go off his foot or leg.
That one's a good one.
Don't care, just get it right.
Tough part would have been is, was he out?
And you know the Singapore team is very well-mannered and courteous. They're not going to argue the play.
Because on the dead ball, all play stops and they actually didn't finish, and it was actually going to be a pretty close play at first base. Unless they got him out of the box making contact. Maybe that was the appeal of Jim Jones, but the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. And gets lifted foul out of play. Crowd starting to build, and there's a lot of yellow and gold starting to show up for Team Australia as they get set for their game against Team USA. That is a monumental ball game here tonight. And that little roller up the line. Not in time.
Now batting, now back on, number 25.
So infield single for Sekien. So Benjamin Lim now comes to the plate, 1 down in the inning. And knocked down. Up 60 feet. I just have one down here in the inning, Joe.
That's correct. That's all I have, too.
Maybe they're taking two on that exchange. 4-3, there's two down.
Yeah, we'll see what they do.
Time called now. And a pinch hitter will come to the plate, Joe, as Neil Zaplin will pinch hit for Wayne Toe.
Team Singapore, 31 out, 7 in.
Now batting, maintenant au bâton, number 7, numéro 7, Applin Wheels.
So two down, and Eric Healy trying to work out of this jam with a runner on third. Up comes the runner, throw to the plate, in the dirt, gets away, and a run comes in to score.
And on the base.
Charles Rene got to bring that throw to the plate up for Healy to handle it. So Niels comes up, gets a run pushed across. And now the roller. Nice play by Elliott, 4-3. Ends the inning. We head to the bottom of the sixth. Canada up 6-3 on Sports Canada TV.
That's the third out, which ends the top of the sixth inning. There was 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and no runners left on base. The score, Canada 6 and Singapore 3. Et voilà le troisième essai qui met fin au début de la sixième manche. Il y avait 1 point sur 1 curseur, aucune erreur et aucune couleur laissée sur le but, avec un pointage 6 pour le Canada et 3 pour Singapour. We remind everyone that smoking is permitted in designated areas only. Please ask a volunteer to direct you to the nearest designated smoking area. Thank you. On vous rappelle tous que le fumage est seulement permis aux endroits désignés.
Singapore, 31 out, 7 out, 31 in. Re-enter. Singapore, 6-9 out, 6-9 out, 21 in. Singapore.
Leading off for Canada. Numéro bâton pour le Canada. Number 16, numéro 16.
Back here on Sports Canada TV, you saw the replay of that interesting play back in the top half of the inning where they called Zien Yi on the dead ball and then called him out. That would have been close. Looked as though he might have beat that throw, Joe Todd.
Well, the only call that you think that they made was that he was hit by the ball outside of the batter's box. See if we can get a clarification maybe after the game.
So Marcus Chu now comes into the ball game to pitch. a fourth pitcher for Singapore. Tuno. Three balls, no strikes. Called strike one. So Mackay will lead things up. Three-two count. 6-3 in favor of Canada here in the bottom of the sixth inning. And that one goes to the outside for ball four. So free pass here to Mackay. Rolls things to the top, and Tyler Paulai.
Now batting, and now baton, number 20, number 5, right field, Shangwa, Tyler Pauley.
I'm not really sure if I was the coach of the Singapore team, if I would have put Marcus Chu in at this time. I think I would have held my cards for tomorrow's game now.
Called a strike. But are they trying to shut the door and make a bit of a comeback here? And still within grasp, just down 3 runs, Joe. And the count now 1-1. Our next game will be U.S. taking on Team Australia. Should have those lineup cards any time now. We'll get them to you as soon as we do with the starting pitchers before we leave the air if we can.
Who's your guesses, Kyle?
I would think Silu for Australia and Zimmerman for Team USA. That pitch will miss to the top side for ball 3, 3-1. Would be my guess, but
my guess is going to be Zimmerman against Calum Bichel, sorry.
Not far off. Bichel will probably be listed as a DP. So you always have that possibility as that one comes across for strike 2. So the count runs at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Off and running. Ball 4. As Paulite gets the walk. So back-to-back walks here for Team Canada. Mackay and Paulai on the bases. And now Nick Penner will come to the plate. Struck out, grounded out, reached on a walk, and scored. That was in the second inning. And to the outside at the knees for a strike. 0-1. Lifted up. Foul on the left side. And that one will miss. Up and in for a ball.
Runners on first and second, nobody out.
And a little roller up off the glove of Marcus Chu. All hands are safe. So Tyler Shibata will come to the plate. Shibata lifts that foul and out of play. Down and away.
Shibata has a chance to break this game open with a big power hit.
Power hit over the fence would end it. Inside for a ball.
Team Canada just looking for some continuous motion all the way through the game. 1 through 7 innings.
Chu, just off top of the hands. Gonna score one. Under it is Ivan Tan. He'll make the grab. Throw to the plate's cut off by Sekien. Good job by Shibata to drive that run in.
Other runners, Tyler Pauly, Nick Penners, still stuck on that base based on the throw by Ivan Tan.
And that pitch misses for a ball. Josh Elliott comes to the plate with a double, a single, 2 runs scored, and a ground out on his day. He takes for strike 1. Chu works. Misses for ball 2. 2-1 the count. And foul that one off.
Elliott looking for a triple to go with his single and double.
Time called as Elliott steps out of the box. Waiting for this 2-2 offering. And misses for ball 3. 3-2. Three and 2. And a line out. But that's all as Pauly quick back to the bag. 2 down in the inning. So trying to squall this storm that Canada's bringing. And Rene pops it out again. Pauly around to score. Coming into third is Penner. He's in there feet first. So Charles Rene reaches all 4 times. And an RBI.
Team Canada staying on a roll here with lots of momentum here in the 6th inning. Scored 2 runs on 2 hits. The walks have come back to haunt Singapore again. The arm going around Marcus Chu. It's
Team Canada.
And another pinch runner, 2-out catcher temporary runner in Elliott. 2 down. Justin Gainey trying to break out. Good chance here for him, Joe. Down to an 0-3 for his day. Ball 1. One ball. And called a strike. One. And a swing right through. Good squeeze on by Joshua Tom. 1-2 count. Swing and a miss. Down he goes on to first. First strikeout, 2-3. We'll come back with the top of the 7th on Sports Canada TV. Back with you here on Sports Canada TV. Tianchun will lead things off, though we have a pinch hitter, Joe. Hugo Tay will pinch hit. And a swing and a miss. Eric Healy off speed, swing and a miss. For strike 2, nice mix of off speed, and the hard goes for Healy.
Well, especially with a new batter in there too. Gives him something.
Gets fouled out of play.
Saw probably 3 or 4 Singapore games, and I believe this is the first plate appearance for Hugo Tay.
And foul that one off. No balls, 2 strikes count to Hugo Tay here. Down to their last swings is Singapore. Called strike 3. Six strikeouts on the day for Eric Healy. Good go round for him in his first start of the tournament.
Only allowing the 3 hits. The only time he really got in trouble was the back-to-back walks back in the 3rd inning.
So Michael Lee back into the game. On a strike, he goes. 8-3, Canada leads here in the top half of the 7th inning. Kyle Smith, Joe Todd here with you on Sports Canada TV, and that one again into the dirt. I want to say thank you to executive producer Troy Brown, our director to our left, Kat Britton, Harmon Aujala working at home plate, Carmen Ma on the graphics board, Victor Wong in at third, and Forrest Mann working out in the trees in center field as that one comes around on the inside for ball 3. 3-1. Great crew that we have up here, Joe, on both diamonds, 1 and 2 every day, bringing all these sights from Whitehorse.
Great quality shots. The high definition cameras really making a significant increase in the quality of shots here by the Sports Canada TV crew.
So the count runs 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 down, and ball 4.
Fourth walk for Eric Healy in the 7 innings.
Joshua Tom now will come to the plate. Off and running. Throw down offline to the left side. Oh, 1. One and 1. Misses for ball 2. 2-1 is an update from the other diamond, Joe. At last check, that game was
0-0 in the 2nd inning. That game between Czechoslovakia and
Czech Republic
and
Japan.
Japan.
That one will miss for ball 3 as Canada having a tough time closing this one out here. Joshua Tom reached on a walk in the 5th and retired in his first 2 appearances, a fly out and a ground out. Diving for that is Eric Healy. Sometimes pitchers should just let them go by.
Would have been a lot easier play for Josh Elliott if he would have let that ball go. Elliott had a beat on it too.
Time called as Jim Jones wants to discuss this over. One down here in the inning. One down, Eric Healy trying to work out and end this ball game for Canada. There's a flare. Paulai going to play it on the bounce, and 1 run comes in to score on the single by Ivan Tan.
Singapore not going away quietly. I want them to muster a little offense going. These 2 teams will have a rematch tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 here.
Seems we were kind of in this same situation against U.S. in the 7th. Game well in hand and few misplays, miscues. And there's another one. Canada continually shoots themselves in the foot. Can't pick the ball up now, Nick Penner. Not really sure why why Charles Rene wants to throw that down to second. No reason for it. You're in control with a 4-run lead now. One swing of the bat, it's a 1-run ball game.
Well, you had the force play set up too. Now that's been taken away.
So an error to Charles Rene on the throw allows the runner up to third. Foul that off. That's part of the maturing process here for Team Canada, but at the same time, it's the small part of the game that you have to realize outs for runs at this point, Joe.
Yeah, this is just fundamentals there. 9th game of the week. Kind of stuff should be automatic.
Called for a strike at the knees. Gerald Tan just 2 hits this week in his 15 plate appearances. And fouls that off. Had a tough go getting his bat going. One ball, 2. Swing and a miss. Throw down, strikeout 2, 3. And a run comes in to score.
Ivan Tan also advancing to third base on the plate. 8-5 now. Team Canada leading. 2 out here in the top of the 7th inning.
Now an 8-5 ball game. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. Jian Yi, 0 for 3, was somehow taken out of the equation his last time at the plate, unless they took it off on the ball hitting him out of the box, but no indication on that, just the old out signal. And the count now at 1-1. Trying to close this game out. Called strike 2. Australia leaning over the fence. You can see him down on the first base side. Their game comes up next against the US of A here on Sports Canada TV. The winner of that punches a ticket to the top side of the bracket. Swing and foul that one off. One of the biggest games we'll have here this week. Outside of course, the playoffs. Called strike 3. And on to first. Strikeout 2-3 to end the ball game. Canada made it interesting. Strikeout to side does Eric Healy. They'll move their record to 4-5 on the week and get set for their game tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 against this very same Singapore team. But for now, Joe Todd, for Canada, the bats come alive, just not able to put the hammer down and bury them.
Well, a win is a win, so they're going to go back to the motel rooms tonight or their dorms and have a little bit of confidence rolling into that game tomorrow.
So for Joe Todd, Choi Brown, Carmen Mon, graphics, our director down to my left, Cap Britton, Victor Wong, Force Man, and Harmon Ajula. I'm Kyle Smith. We'll see you at 7:30 for Australia, USA, the winner to the top side the top 4. The loser, we have to wait to see what happens with Japan. Coming back with more from Whitehorse.